Hi everyone, it's Maya from WholesomeYum.com, and today I'm showing you how to make a keto burrito bowl. This easy bowl is one of my favorite low-carb meals for lunch or dinner. It's got all my favorite components of a burrito. We've got flavorful seasoned beef, rice. We're using my cilantro lime cauliflower rice recipe for this. Juicy tomatoes, creamy avocado, some red onions, lime. You're going to love this. If you like making your own bowl at Chipotle, this recipe is going to be perfect for you. You can customize it however you'd like, but either way, it takes only 20 minutes. This recipe comes straight out of my new Easy Keto Carbaholics cookbook. I wrote this book to show you that you don't have to miss out on your favorite carb-filled foods if you're living a low-carb lifestyle. Bread, pasta, dessert, rice, potatoes, these burrito bowls, all of it you can make low-carb and they will still be delicious. The book. And I have bookmarked the recipe so you can see it here. I'll link down below where you can order the book, but in the meantime, I am going to show you how to make this keto burrito bowl right now. Let's do this. We're going to start by mincing 2 cloves of garlic. This is for the cilantro lime cauliflower rice. That's what we're making first. I like to smash the cloves, and then that helps the peel come right off super easily. Then you can just slice the cloves of garlic super thinly, and then use a rocking motion using your other hand for leverage to mince the garlic super fine. If you want a shortcut, you can also use jarred minced garlic, but I love the flavor of fresh. You're going to need about half a cup of chopped cilantro, but feel free to use a little more or less if you like. If you're not a fan of cilantro, some people think it tastes a little soapy, feel free to use other herbs here such as fresh parsley or even chives, but let's be real, for a keto burrito bowl, cilantro is the classic choice. Now, before we cook the cauliflower rice, I like to get all the rest of our ingredients for the burrito bowls ready so that everything is just ready to go. The next thing you need is 1/4 of a large red onion. You cut off the ends first, remove the peel, cut in one direction, dice in the other direction. Super simple, and if you don't like red onion, you can also use a white onion here if you prefer. Our next ingredient is 4 Roma tomatoes. Now, you can just simply dice these, but I like to seed them first. That way, your low-carb burrito bowl is not going to get all watery from the tomato juices. So cut the tomatoes into quarters lengthwise, just like this, and then you can simply use your knife to slice off the inside portion. And this is going to remove all the seeds, all the juices, so the end result is going to be more dry and more suitable for a bowl. I'm also cutting off the ends here, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Slice the quarters into strips, and then you can just line those up and dice them in the opposite direction to get perfect pieces. Next, we're going to prepare our meat for our keto burrito bowl. So I'm using a flank steak here. If you prefer, you can use a different cut of steak. A skirt steak is an excellent alternative, or you can even use ground beef if that's what you like. For a flank steak, a little tip here, I like to cut it in half lengthwise first, parallel to the grain, just so that we have pieces that are not so long. And then after that, you can line it up and cut against the grain into super thin slices. Another little tip here, it can help if you freeze your steak for about 20 to 30 minutes, or even 10 to 15 minutes can help if that's all the time you have before you slice it. This is going to help you get thin slices so that the steak doesn't slide around quite as much as you slice. I'm using 1 pound of flank steak here, and if you use a different cut of meat, you'll still need about 1 pound. So just get it cut as thinly as you possibly can, and then you can transfer it to a large bowl where we're going to season it. Add a tablespoon of olive oil to the steak in the bowl, and you can use a different oil here if you like. Avocado oil is also fine. And I'm adding a tablespoon of taco seasoning. I love using my own homemade taco seasoning. I think it has really good flavor, but if you like, you can also use store-bought. I'll link mine down below, and if yours does not have salt in it, be sure you add a teaspoon of salt to the steak as well. And we're going to add a tablespoon of fresh lime juice. I love the flavor of actually squeezing this fresh from a lime, and I really like this lime squeezer. It makes it a lot easier than using your hands. But if you prefer, you can also use bottled lime juice here for convenience. I like to squeeze the lime juice into a tablespoon measuring spoon first, just to make sure I get the right amount. But if you want to eyeball it, that's totally fine. Mix the steak together with the oil, lime juice, and seasoning, and then you can set it aside to marinate while we make the cilantro lime cauliflower rice on the stovetop. Heat 3 tablespoons of olive oil in a medium skillet. You can use less oil here if you like, but I really prefer the flavor that we get from using a little bit more oil. And now we're going to add that minced garlic from the beginning and saute that for about a minute or so, just until it's nice and fragrant. Add the cauliflower rice. You can use fresh or frozen cauliflower rice here, and if you're not sure how to make rice cauliflower, I'll link that down below for you. This is going to cook super quickly here, so you kind of have to work fast. I'm adding the zest and juice from a medium lime directly into the pan. If you want to be extra careful, you can also just zest the lime ahead of time just to make sure that it's ready. And I'm adding about a teaspoon of sea salt here, but you can adjust this to your taste, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Mix that all together, and honestly, by the time you've added everything, this is usually already pretty much cooked. The cauliflower rice takes maybe a total of 3 to 5 minutes to stir fry, but just cook it until it's nice and soft, but not mushy. If you're concerned about mushy or watery cauliflower rice, I do have a couple of tips to make sure you avoid that. Don't cook it too long, 3 to 5 minutes is all you need. Keep the heat medium or even medium-high if you like a little browning. Low heat is going to make it mushy. And do not use a lid. That's going to cause it to steam and become watery. Remove it from heat, and then you can add your fresh chopped cilantro, and it's ready to enjoy with your keto burrito bowl. You can use the same pan for cooking your steak as well, but I prefer to use a larger pan. That way you can cook the steak a little bit more quickly because you can fit more pieces in a single layer. So I'm heating another tablespoon of oil here and then add the steak in a single layer. Be sure the pieces are all touching the pan and cook for just a couple of minutes on each side until nice and brown to your liking. All my ingredients are ready, so it's time to assemble my keto burrito bowl. I'll start with some cauliflower rice. This is about 1 cup, but feel free to put however much you like. And we'll add some steak, some diced tomatoes, and now I'm gonna slice an avocado here. It's a pretty huge avocado, so I might actually use a little bit less. That looks pretty good. And we'll slice that very thinly. And then you can just use a spoon to scoop out those slices. Just like this. And we'll fan those out in our bowl. A little bit of diced red onion and a dollop of sour cream. If you like, shredded cheese is also a really nice addition to this. I don't have any on hand here, but feel free to add that in if you like. And a sprinkle chopped cilantro, as much or as little as you like. Sometimes I also add a little sprig at the end, just to make it look pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and try this. If you like, you can mix it up first so you get a little bit of everything in every bite, but this bowl is pretty full, so that's not happening. I'm just gonna do my best here. Grab some sour cream with cauliflower rice and some beef. Those are the most important parts. And we'll get the rest on the next bite. That was so much flavor, and I didn't even get all of it. It's so, so good. I hope you'll make this keto burrito bowl soon. I hope you're gonna pick up a copy of the book. It has so many more delicious carb replacement recipes in there. And if you make this, snap a photo, post it with hashtag Wholesome Yum so that I can see it too. See you next time on Wholesome Yum, where I share easy, healthy, and keto recipes, all with 10 ingredients or less.